Good evening and welcome to our first College Talk Tuesday. We are so excited to have you with us. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. And tonight it's all about you. And our first College Talk Tuesday is all about having the best senior year ever. And for those of you watching us tonight, can you believe senior year? It's a fun year. It's a year meant to be full of accomplishments and fun and excitement and new things. So we're excited to be here with you tonight. My name is Katie Zalda. I'm the Director of Admissions here at Siena, a proud Siena College graduate. I've been at the college 18 years now, working in admissions, and I absolutely love it. Joining me, though, I'm not the star of the show. The star of the show are the three students that I have with me tonight. I'm going to turn it over to each of them to introduce themselves. We have Aiden, Ananya, and Meredith. And so, Meredith, why don't I start with you to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thanks, Katie. I apologize for my raspy voice. I am an orientation leader here, and we are in training. But my name is Meredith. This is also my senior year at Siena. So I was in all of your shoes 4 years ago, which is really crazy to think. I am a psychology major, and I'm from right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina.
Awesome, Meredith. And I remember when you were a senior in high school.
Crazy.
Miss Ananya, you're next, hon.
Okay, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yep.
Okay, great. Hi, my name's Ananya. I am a sophomore here at Siena College. So I was in your shoes like about 2 years ago. I remember joining these calls. From Siena and, watching other seniors and other students talk about their senior year as well. And I'm a bio major, and I'm also an orientation leader like Meredith.
Awesome. And Aiden.
Hi, I'm Aiden O'Connor. I'm from Warwick, New York. I'm a sociology major with an entrepreneurship minor and a history minor. I'm a CA on campus, and I'm on the men's rugby team.
Very good. And so CA is synonymous with RA, residence assistant is what some colleges call it. And Aiden, you are a junior, correct?
Yes, I am.
And I remember like it was yesterday when you were a senior visiting. Goes fast.
It does go fast.
Let's start off with a couple tips for our friends watching us, and then we're going to jump right into their questions. And they're already coming in fast and furious. The next 30 minutes, and it will go by fast, is all about you. So whatever questions you have on your mind for myself or our three amazing saints, write them in the chat box. I will read them aloud and put them to one of the panelists joining me tonight. So let's start with the first tip from each of you. And let's have this be on the college search process. If you could give one tip to our seniors watching right now to help with the college search process, what would that tip be? Ananya, I'll start with you, hon.
My tip would be definitely do your research and look into what the schools have to offer, look into their clubs, look into the different majors. There's so much about every single college, including Siena, to research, to learn about. So definitely look into it. I think that's probably the best thing I did. I remember going on college tours, and I know that probably was difficult for a lot of you seniors, but I remember going on college tours and even virtual college tours for you guys as well, just to see the campus and learn about different programs, even talk to some professors as well. So I would definitely highlight doing a lot of research before.
Love that. Aiden, how about you?
My tip would be to find somewhere where you feel you can see yourself living. Studying is super important, but it's also you have a life and you want to be somewhere where you can have fun and relax and be able to be with friends.
Yeah. And Meredith?
My biggest tip would be kind of what Ananya said about the research. Look at a ton of different schools because you might come into the college search process thinking that you want one type of school and then realize that you really want a different type of school. So I toured a couple of the bigger schools near me, UNC, Duke, NC State, and realized a big campus was not the vibe for me. It wasn't the place I was going to feel the most comfortable. Figured out I wanted a smaller school, and then I started narrowing it down from there. So tour different schools, make a list of non-negotiables, things that you know that you really want, and it might you might add things to it. I didn't know I wanted a small school, so that got added, but I knew that I wanted a strong community feel. I knew I wanted to get involved in certain clubs, and then I kind of just tried to find schools all over that fit that list of things that I knew I really needed in a school.
That's great. Think to the application itself, sitting down and filling out the applications. What is one piece of advice or one tip you have for our seniors watching
Mm.
now when they're starting to sit down and fill out those applications? Meredith, what do you
I
think?
I can take that one first. Yeah. So for me, the scariest part, I think, of the application process was the writing a college essay. And I know not every school requires it, but I was filling out a common application, and at the time I was writing an essay, and I had felt a lot of pressure that it needed to be this perfect story to tell. And now, 4 years later, I work in the writing center on Siena's campus, and a lot of what we talk about is um, the freshman experience and how your writing style changes so much from when you were in high school to when you're in college. So I think the most important thing for you guys when you're starting the college application process and you're writing these essays is really to just find something that will paint a picture and a story for who you are in the moment and where you want to move to in the future. It doesn't have to be a perfectly elaborate thought. You don't need to know what major you want or what career. But if you can find one experience to share in an essay that will describe to any college who you are and what your core values are, I think that's the best thing you can do.
That's great. Anani, what about you? A piece of advice outside of the essay for the application?
Yes, so similar to what Meredith said, mine is like more general, and it's definitely to stay organized. I applied to 18 colleges, and yes, I know it was a lot.
That's a lot.
Too much. So please don't apply to 18 colleges. So I definitely needed to stay organized with all my applications and all my essays and everything. So use Google Docs, use make a folder with all of your essays, stay organized. It can get hectic, especially senior year when you're trying to, enjoy senior year like we're talking about in this call, and have fun. But also stay organized, have fun. And keep track of your applications and take it one step at a time. There's so many elements to every single application. Staying organized and taking everything one step at a time will just make the whole process so much easier.
That's great. That's great. And Aiden, what's your tip for the application?
Definitely to take your time and make sure you're putting exactly what you want to put in there.
Yep.
But at the same time, don't take so long that you're submitting it right before it's due. It stresses you out so much. I got my applications in months before they were due, and then I was able to relax and sit back and relax and enjoy my senior year while everybody else was cramming it. So take your time and make sure you put what you want in there, but don't wait. Just get it done. You know what you want to say, just put it down.
Aiden, that's perfect introduction to the Siena Express application. And our application is live. That's right. Our application is live right now. It's the Siena Express application. It can be found on our website, siena.edu/apply. We call it Express because it will take you 10 minutes to fill out. It is very simple. No essay is required and no test scores are required. So you can get that application right on our website, siena.edu/apply. If you fill out the application tonight, I will send you home personally a cool Siena drawstring bag that you can sport to your favorite. I know, Meredith, that you guys all want one. I'll get you guys one too. But go take advantage of the Siena Express application. All right, last tip, and then we're going to jump into questions. The next one is kind of about the social life, the fun of senior year. And Anani, you said it perfectly, and it's so important to make sure you have fun. So looking back at senior year, what is one tip in terms of social life, in terms of the fun and activities that you would give our seniors watching?
I can continue that one.
Please.
So I think it's very important to, stay involved, especially after COVID and everything that happened in this past year. We've been talking a lot as orientation leaders about this new normal year we're going to have this year and how we're going to have different experiences. We don't know what it's going to be like. You don't know how COVID's going to be, but take advantage of what your school has to offer. I know right now Siena has so much to offer for all the students just because things are starting to look a little more normal. So definitely take advantage, go to football games, go do powder puff, go to homecoming, do all the things that high school is all about because it's so important. And there's some things that I think back on and I'm like, oh, I should have gone to all those football games. I should have gone to all the basketball games. But so definitely stay involved. You don't want to regret that later on.
Yeah. Great question. Great one. Aiden, Meredith, what tips do you have for the social side of things?
I would say, oh, sorry, Aiden.
No,
I
no,
would
no.
just, I would just say, I remember like the first thing that I thought when I got to senior year was like, oh my gosh, I have to cram everything in. And I remember like every time I would talk to my friends, we would just like try to think of everything that you wish you could do in high school and just find a way to see if you can fit it in. Like I know my friends and I, we really wanted to make an effort that like on Wednesday mornings, we always came early and we got coffee and we hung out beforehand. Before classes started, like Ananya said, we tried to go to all the football games. We tried to make a good healthy balance of like spending all the time we could with our friends and also getting what we needed to get done. So find a way to make it extra special, especially because hopefully most of you are back in person this year.
Yeah.
So there's an added fun aspect to that.
That's great. And Aiden, bring it home for us. What do you think?
Absolutely go to as much of like the events like happening in your high school as you can. Go to prom, go to the football games, the Power Puffs, go to them all and do it with your friends. And but also don't be afraid to take your friends and go do your own thing.
Yeah,
Go to the cafe in town that you haven't been to yet. See what's around your town that you haven't done. Just go out and do anything that you possibly can.
I love it. I love it. All right, are you guys ready to jump into questions? So the first two questions have a very common theme, and the theme is how to balance work with doing well in school and doing the college application process. So think back to your senior year. Um, how did you balance everything? You're still a student, you're going to classes, you're doing homework, but you've got the application process. What are some tips that you have for balancing work with academics? And Ananya, I can start with you.
Awesome. Yeah, that's definitely a really important question that I feel like is good to address because it can be difficult with the college application and your normal schoolwork and the fun you're trying to have. For me personally, just because I did apply to so many schools, I remember starting earlier this summer. I know it's a little late now, but I did start earlier in the summer and worked on like my Common App essay and like the main essays before the school year, just so I had most of the Common App application done. And it's still actually not too late to start. It's never too late to start. Start today if you haven't started already. Apply to Siena right now if you can.
Right.
So definitely get a start like whenever you can. You don't want to wait till the last minute, like Aiden mentioned earlier. That's the worst feeling ever when you want to make plans, you want to do something, and then you remember you have a deadline the next day. So definitely stay on top of things. I feel like time management, as you'll learn in college as well, is so important. The difference between high school and college is like in college you have so much free time. Like personally, I think college, like academics and time management wise is so much easier just because you have time to figure out like how to squeeze things in. So definitely practice your time management skills the senior year, especially with academics and college applications, and that will definitely prepare you for college as well.
That's great. Aiden, do you have anything to add to that, to the how you balanced everything? Because I know in high school you were really busy.
I was very busy. For me, I got my application the way I balanced it all. I got my applications done before my first day of senior year. I had all my applications in and done, and the only thing I had left to do was talk to uh, my the people who would write my letters of recommendation and get those done, and that made it really easy. So if you get those done as soon as possible, you're able to take more time to work. You're able to take more time to play a sport. I started playing rugby my senior year, so I need to even balance it even more.
Yeah.
So plan it out and get done what you can as soon as possible, so that you have more time to yourself.
That's great. That's great. And Meredith, we're glad you're back.
Got kicked out. Sorry.
That's okay. No, we're happy you're here. And the question is regarding balancing. How do you balance the schoolwork with the application process and the fun? So, did you have a little secret or tip that worked well for you senior year on balancing everything?
Absolutely. Yeah. Kind of like Aiden, I was really busy my senior year, but I did not get all of my applications done before senior year started. I actually didn't even hear about Siena until I think November of my senior year. So I kind of had a different experience, and I was balancing mostly. I was swimming. I was also balancing being on student council and being in other clubs. And I think what worked for me is I I'm a big organizer. So I tried to kind of plan out my schedule and look at the whole year in advance, which seems a little overwhelming, and gave myself some deadlines. So like certain colleges, like you all know, have deadlines for early applications or for regular application status. And I tried to give myself deadlines as I worked up towards those for the college app process specifically. And I actually would get together with my friends when we would hang out on Wednesday mornings before, and we would all kind of like sit down and work on our apps a little bit together or work on our essays a little bit together, which was a nice, like, scheduled into my daytime with my friends to socialize and also get apps done. And that allowed me to, after school, go to club meetings or plan a student council event, go to my swim meets, things like that. So um, I would highly recommend sitting down with your friends or with your parents or your teachers and kind of giving yourself a little schedule. And then also not beating yourself up if you don't like meet your deadline that you set for yourself a month before the app is due. Things happen and things change, but if you're proactive about it, it'll be super helpful in the long run.
That's awesome. Some more great questions for you guys. So the next one, and it's such a great one that I'm sure everyone is wondering, it's how do I even start the process of applying for college, right? It's a huge process. And so where is it that you even start? I can do certainly the admission side of it and the physical application itself, but I want the three of you to quickly touch base on kind of the research side of it and what resources you used when starting the application process. Ananya, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, I can start with that. So like Meredith mentioned earlier, it's good to know what you like. So definitely look into your preferences. Do you like a smaller community? Do you like a larger community? Do you like campuses that are in the city? Do you like campuses that are more like suburban? So definitely, like, if you want to like make a list of everything you're looking for and then start the college application process and the college search process. And after I made that personal list, I looked into more specific colleges like Siena and other schools as well. And I made a whole list of colleges that I wanted to apply to. And I feel like that in itself helped me get organized. I even made like a Google Sheets. I remember I still have it in my Google Drive, like a sheet of like which school I'm applying to, when their deadline is, what, like when my own, like how Meredith was saying before, when I want to turn it in, the college, what's it called?
Financial aid, FAFSA?
The financial aid as well, and then like the advisor, not the advisor, the
School
specific
counselor, guidance counselor. Yep.
yeah, guidance counselor or like admissions for each school. So I would have like the whole, like all the emails set up. So I had like a very large spreadsheet with my 18 colleges that I applied to. So I feel like definitely getting organized and having everything laid out for you and like the deadlines set out for you is a great start to the college application process. But definitely start with your preferences, like Meredith was saying before.
Yeah. Aiden and Meredith, did either of you use Naviance or any of the online tools in researching colleges?
I did. I used Naviance, and I have not said that word in probably 3 years, which that was so weird to talk about. But I did, and my school helped us use Naviance. Correct me, Katie, if I'm wrong, but I think it was a tool to kind of like look at a lot of schools that had things
Yep.
that were in common,
Yep.
and that helped me. That helped me a lot in trying to find some other schools. I knew that I was comfortable going out of state, staying on the East Coast, so that helped me find a lot of different things. I think it also has something to help you with your application as well, Katie.
That's right. That's right.
To kind of track through your application and work through step by step. I would say specifically for when you decide which schools you want to apply to, number one, some applications can be expensive. So ask for free application status, or I'm not sure what the exact word is, but some colleges do offer free applications, or they may offer, if you apply by a certain day, it's a free application. And I would also say when you're working through the application, don't feel like you need to cram all of that general application information into one day. You can kind of segment it out. It will seem more overwhelming if you try to tell yourself you have to get it all done in 1 or 2 days. So feel free to take a little bit of time to work on it and process as you go.
Yeah, that's great. And feel free to reach out to me. I'm here to help. So use your school counselor at your school, use teachers, friends who've gone through it to kind of get their input and kind of how to start and where to start with the process. But Siena offers college coaching sessions. They're one-on-one, just like this over Zoom. You can register for them at siena.edu/visit. Again, it's a one-on-one college coach. And one of the topics is the college application. And we'll spend 30 minutes, even longer. I'll sit with you and we'll do this over Zoom and we'll walk through the application process and what needs to get done. So sign up for that. And my email is kzalda, and my friend can type it in here so you can see it at siena.edu. Shoot me an email and we'll work on the college application together. Stress-free for sure. Next is about the essay. And Naomi has a great question about what should she write about when it comes to the college essay. Aiden, do you remember what your college essay was about?
I do. I remember it quite well. I wrote when I was 16, I went over to Europe and I did an internship with a family friend who has a business over there, and I stayed with them on my own. I house sat, I babysat, and I dog sat for a month. And I wrote the story I told the story about going over there and how I was able to find myself and able to live on my own in a country where I didn't speak the language. I had to learn and figure it all out. And that's what I wrote about. And I thought it was really good. Apparently, it was if I'm here.
As William, yes.
Yes. And make it personal. Write your essay about yourself, who you are, and how you see yourself and how you live in the world. That's how I did mine. Some people don't do that, but it worked for me, and I still remember it quite well.
Mhm.
That's great. And Nanya, what do you remember what yours was about?
Yes, I do remember what mine was about. So, mine was about how my grandfather had recently died 2 months before I started writing my college applications. So mine was about how his death personally affected me, my mental status, me emotionally, physically, academically, how it affected me as a person. So I think with this example in specific, it's good to note that when you are writing about like a death that has affected you, make it more about how it affected you and how you changed from it or how you were affected by it. Don't make it more about like the person who died. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a lot of people say that, and a lot of people do write their essays on, oh, my grandfather died and he was such a great person, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure he was such a great person, just like my grandfather was. But it's good to connect that to you because ultimately this Common App essay is about yourself. Yeah. So connect it to you and talk about how it affected you or how you changed from this experience. So that's my little advice.
You say that perfectly. And Meredith, do you remember what your essay was about?
I do. Yeah, I wrote about a service trip that I went on. I went to the Appalachian Mountains and we worked on homes in rural Appalachia that needed home repair. And I actually had our teacher in high school recommend to me that I find the metaphor through that. And so I talked about a trip that I went on where we did flooring, and I related that to like the foundations and like the floor of my life and kind of like my core values. So it was a cool way to connect something that I'm passionate about with service and like a trip that I actually went on, and find a way to entail or like intertwine the things that I was really passionate about that I knew the schools I wanted to go to would have to have. So I talked about my faith. I talked about my passion for community. I talked about service. And like you can see, Siena is pretty big in all of those. So I kind of tailored it towards the schools that I really wanted to go to.
I love that. So Naomi, I think you can see by all three of them, what to write about is about you, something personal and unique about you. It doesn't have to be a huge, profound topic. It doesn't have to include huge words. It's simple. We want to just get to know more about you, something that we don't know from reading the application, which in all three of these examples, we don't know these stories about them by reading the application. So take some time, think a little bit, talk to family members, teachers, and they can help you brainstorm as well. The college coaching sessions we do, one topic is on an essay brainstorm. So sign up for it. We'll work with you on actually brainstorming an essay topic. I love doing it. So reach out to me as well. I can help you. But the essay is meant to be fun for sure. Although right now I know it's not because it's stressful of what to think about, right? All right, Amanda, you have the question of many students on their mind, ACT or SAT? Do you guys remember which one you took?
I took the ACT. I ended up not taking the SAT actually even once. I took the PSAT in high school, and it was not for me, so I took the ACT. And then I think I took it 1 or 2 times after that, just to test it out. But it kind of depends on your testing style and the
Yeah.
things that you have strengths with. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. How about you, Ananya? Do you remember what you did?
Yes, I took both the SAT and the ACT and found myself performing so much better on the SAT. So I did submit my SAT scores instead of the ACT scores. So ultimately, it's just like how Meredith was saying, it's how you perform. Personally, I liked the SAT style better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Aiden, how about you?
I only took the ACT. I took that. I did not perform well on the PSAT, so I scratched that plan and focused only on the ACT and did well on it.
Yeah. And so for all of you watching, that's a great question. In doing your research and getting to know the admissions counselors at the various colleges you're looking at, I think you're going to find that a lot of colleges are still test optional because of the pandemic. We know COVID has made it very hard for you to register and actually take the SATs or ACTs. For that reason, hundreds of colleges throughout the country have been test optional and will continue to be test optional. So when researching the colleges, when you visit, ask them that question. What do they prefer? If they're optional, that means you do not have to submit your test scores to complete your application. For example, Siena's test optional. We've been test optional for 7 years now. The true student is you. It's your transcript, it's your activities, involvement, leadership, service. So have that conversation with the various schools and take a couple practice. I think Meredith mentioned, practicing, take a couple practice online, and you'll see what works best for you. But again, have the conversations and see if the test scores are required. Another question from Amanda, which is, how do you know what college you want to go to? So you had all these acceptances, and Nanya, you applied to 18 schools, right? How did you decide that you wanted to be a Siena Saint? What were some of the steps you took?
Honestly, when I toured Siena, that's when I realized that Siena is where I wanted to be. When I was on campus and I interacted with other students here, interacted with the tour guide, interacted with the college faculty even, I just realized that everyone was so loving, so welcoming, and that in itself was such a big indicator that Siena was the right college for me. And even to this day, I do believe that I made the right decision and I would never change my mind again.
We're happy to have you as a Saint.
Yay!
And how did you know you wanted to come to Siena?
Well, interestingly, the first time I visited Siena, I wasn't sure I wanted to come. It was also the first college campus I had ever visited, and I was terribly nervous. But I came back to Siena for 4 different visits, and I did 2 overnights here. I visited a lot of campuses to try to, see how comfortable I was. And after the second time, I was comfortable, and I just wanted to spend more time on campus with the 2 follow-up visits, getting ready to come here. So if you can visit, come visit whatever campus you're looking at, and get to know people. My very first visit, I met Katie, and
That's right.
my mom and me had an amazing conversation with her. And every time we would come, we kept bumping into Katie, and just kept coming back.
Aw, you and your mom are the best. I'm everywhere. I love it. It's fun. I love what I do. But the key, Amanda, and everyone watching, it's all about the research. It's all about the visit. The more you get out and visit, the more you interact with the admissions counselors, the more you get to know the schools, you're going to know the right school for you. I call it the warm fuzzies, right? You just feel comfortable. You found the right place. Another question is if Siena is open for in-person college visits, and yes, we are. We have been open over the past year since last summer. So we are open. We do offer small personal tours 7 days a week, including Saturdays and Sundays. You can go right onto our website, siena.edu/visit, and pick the day and time that works best for you. And starting next weekend, the September 11th weekend, we are open 7 days a week. So we'd love to have you come visit, get one of our all-star tour guides, and take a tour of campus for sure. The next question is from Sarah, and Sarah wants to know if classes are in person this semester. You guys can say it together. Are they in person?
Yes.
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 Yes, I'm late, but yes, it is in person.
So exciting, right?
Yes.
We're super, super happy. So, yes, classes are in person this semester. We're really excited about it. Students, freshmen move in on Thursday. Orientation starts, and then classes officially begin the Tuesday after Labor Day, which is the 7th.
Hmm.
The 7th, which is
Yeah.
exciting, in person.
Crazy.
All right. The next question is a big one, and it's about major. So, all three of you have different majors from sciences to liberal arts. Siena also has a great school of business. How did you know what your major was going to be, and how do you know when you find that right major? Do any of you guys have a story of how you kind of came upon your major?
Yeah, I can say for me, I'm a psychology major. I'm also in the process of finalizing an interdisciplinary major at the school, which is a program Siena has where you can combine a couple different minors, majors, certificates, and form a second major for you, which is really cool. But for psychology specifically, I again made kind of a short list of things I knew I either really wanted in a job or in work in the future, and things I knew I didn't. One of the things I knew I didn't really want was to sit in the traditional maybe 9 to 5 type of job, or to be sitting in an office. And I knew that I loved interacting with people, getting to know their stories, all of that type of stuff. And so there's a lot of actually like major and career finder assessments that you can take online. I did a bunch of those, and lots of them came back with psychology. And so I did, again, a little bit of personal research on that. And I came into Siena as a psych major knowing I might change if I found another love, but I've loved every second of psych so far.
That's great. Aiden and Ananya, did you know your major right off the bat, or did you have to explore a little bit?
Yeah, so I knew my major right off the bat. So I am a bio major, and I'm in one of Siena's medical programs. So I have been interested in the sciences for a really long time, and I have known that I wanted to be in the medical profession for a long time as well. So I'm really excited to be in a program here at Siena. And I think, like how Meredith mentioned, I think it's really important to know that even if you do choose a major, like I came as a bio major, at Siena, it's so easy to switch your major, and many people do it. So if you do need to switch your major, or most people even do switch their major actually, but it's so easy to do, and it's honestly the easiest process, and I'm honestly surprised that it is such an easy process. But I personally haven't changed my major, but I have friends who have, so I know how it looks. So yeah.
I love it. And I think major can sometimes be one of the most overwhelming pieces of this process. The most popular major for us is undecided. And what's awesome about undecided, and as you research and you look at schools, sometimes it's undecided, it's called exploring, it's undeclared, but it's not knowing what you want. And that's good. That's normal, right? You're still seniors in high school. You have so much yet to explore and try. So come in undecided. At Siena, you have a full 4 semesters, so 2 years before you actually have to physically declare your major, which is awesome. All right, we got a couple more questions. I know we're nearing up on the end of the session, which goes fast, doesn't it? The next question is from Kendall, and I have each of you answer it quickly. But if you had to pick one thing, your favorite thing about Siena, what would that be? Aiden, I'll start with you.
The people, that everyone's so nice. We're all doing such great things, and it's amazing.
Yep. And Nanya, how about you, hon?
Honestly, other than the community, like Aiden mentioned, a more tangible aspect that I really love about Siena is I love like the I don't know, you guys probably don't know this unless you've toured, but I love the plant room. So there's a plant room in Roger Bacon, and I go there a lot to study. And so basically it's just this big room with wide open windows and a bunch of plants, and whiteboards to study, especially for like bio majors because it is in the bio building. But I love the plant room. So that's just a small thing that I really love about Siena.
Is that the Pat Brown Lounge?
Yes.
No, is it?
I don't know.
I gotta go look, but I know exactly.
It's in Roger Bacon. It's on the first floor.
I love it. Love it. And how about you, Meredith?
Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard. I feel like I'm getting really sentimental the past couple of days thinking of like Siena and my last year here. I think my favorite thing besides the community and the buildings and the locations here that Aiden and Ananya have mentioned would just be the experiences that I've had. I've done some really cool things from leading orientation for now my third year to working in a soup kitchen for a week in Philadelphia on a mission trip to traveling to Guatemala last March right before COVID hit. Give tours and I get to meet new students all the time. And I've met my best friends here. So I just feel like there's been so many little experiences that have made it the best last 3 years.
Meredith, we're not letting you graduate. I
I
can't
know.
believe you're
I don't want
senior.
to leave.
Crazy, crazy. Last question before we wrap up for the night, and it's the perfect last question. It's from Elizabeth, and she said, "What is one thing you wish you knew about Siena before you applied?" It's a good question. One thing
Great
you wish you
question.
knew about Siena before you applied.
I have my answer.
All right, you go, girl.
I wish I knew that I would love Siena as much as I do today. Siena was the first college I applied to, and then I applied to 17 other colleges after, which was a waste of time and money. So I wish I knew from the beginning that Siena was the college that I choose. So yeah, that's my answer.
That's awesome. Aiden, how about you, hon?
Honestly, kind of the same. I wish I had known that Siena was the place for me because it truly is. No other college is what I wouldn't have done as well at any other college. I wouldn't have felt as comfortable. I wish I'd known so that I could have gone into my senior year knowing exactly where I'm going to be, exactly where I know I'll be happy, and just not have to worry about it. And
Yeah.
I wish I knew that.
Yeah, for sure. And Meredith?
I wish I had known how supportive of a community it was going to be. And I'm very grateful that I found that out when I came in toward February of my senior year. But I wish I had just known, that from my friends to my professors to the admissions counselors who hired me that I still talk to this day. I wish I had known how truly supported I was going to be throughout my 4 years.
You guys are amazing. What a kickoff to our College Talk Tuesdays. Simply amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you watching us tonight, thank you so much. Please keep in touch with us. 3 quick, easy things. Number 1, go to our website right now, siena.edu/apply, and start filling out your Siena College Express application. 10 minutes, it'll be done. I'll send you that cool Siena drawstring bag. Number 2, siena.edu/visit. You're going to sign up, number 1, for a college coach session where you can get one-on-one counseling from an admissions counselor, ask us questions, anything you need with this college application process. We want it to be fun, exciting, and stress-free. And the third tip is go right back to that website, siena.edu/visit, and schedule your visit. Come on campus, see Aiden, Meredith, and Ananya, see their Saints in action, and we hope to see you on campus soon. Have a great week. Have a wonderful start of your school year, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a great night.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.